Welcome to this week's edition of Vikings Update. I'm Mark Potts, Sports Information Director. Our guest this week, later in the show, Dennis McCulloch, head football coach here at Valley City State. Exciting win for the Vikings, 32-24 over Dakota State. We've got the recap coming up for you next, courtesy of Chase Miller, voice of the Vikings on KOVC Radio.
Walls, three-step drop, has some time to throw, throws it down the middle to a wide-open Viking, and that's Schmidt, 21 yards, touchdown, Valley City State University. Got to get to the 21-yard line for the first. They're going to hand it off to Dulio. Dulio's going to get the first down to the 20, to the 15, near sideline, 10, 5, touchdown Vikings! Dulio goes to pay dirt for the first time today on a 4th and 4. He breaks the tackle at the 20. They're going to fake it to Krishner as Gillis just rolls the near sideline to the 10. He gets tripped up, keeps the balance, though fumbles the football. Ball is free. It's a scrum, and Ben Brunches is going to be on it. 1st and 10, Valley City State University. And it's a high hold, and Colby Lum's going to have to roll to the near sideline, and he's going to have wide open spaces, and he walks in for the 2-point conversion. Gillis takes a 3-snap drop, has some time to throw, throws it down the middle of the field, and that one's going to be picked off by the Maple Valley product, Ethan Preston, and there's your dagger.
Exciting comeback win for the Vikings, who trailed 21-10 at halftime and 24-17 in the fourth quarter. Vikings outscored Dakota State 22-3 in the second half. Big second half for the offensive line and running back Jacob Dulio, who had 144 rushing yards and 3 TDs in the final 2 quarters. On Monday, Dulio was named the North Star Athletic Association Offensive Player of the Week. On the defensive side, linebacker Ethan Preston was named the NSAA Defensive Player of the Week. He had 13 tackles and the game-clinching interception against the Trojans. Congrats to Ethan and Jacob. Vikings improved to 4-3 overall and 2-2 in conference play. They'll hit the road to play Presentation College this Saturday at 1 p.m. in Aberdeen. Viking cross country in action last Friday at the Jimmy Invitational held at Parkhurst Recreation Area just north of Jamestown. Viking women had 5 runners compete as they took 8th place at the meet. Alexandra Cardenas was the top finisher for VCSU as she took 32nd in the field of 78 runners. Jenna Coughlin came in 49th, and Andrea Milbrath was just behind her in 54th. On the men's side, Marcel Herrera led the Vikings with a 31st place finish in the 8K race with a time of 28 minutes 22 seconds. Oren Rambo and Malik Jackson placed 42nd and 43rd, respectively. The Viking men did not record a team score at the meet. VCSU will be back in action October 24th at the Mount Marty Invite in Yankton, South Dakota. It is their last meet before the NSAA Conference Championships coming up November 7th. VCSU baseball wrapped up the fall season with 3 games last week, lost a 5-4 decision at Jamestown on Wednesday, despite home runs from Cody Kingsbury and Jaden Miller. The Vikings closed the fall, though, on a good note, winning both sides of a doubleheader with the University of Winnipeg. Tied 2-2 in the 8th inning of Game 1 when Joe Demers delivers this 2-run triple as VCSU picked up a 4-2 win in Game 1. David Whitaker earned the win, allowing just 5 hits and 2 runs in 8 innings on the mound. Viking bats came alive in Game 2 with 12 hits as the Vikings never trailed and picked up an 11-7 victory to close the fall season. Brock Powell had 2 hits and 3 RBIs, including a 2-run double. Demers hit a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, and Jared Mickeljohn had a pair of hits and 2 RBIs as well. Jordan Ruse pitched 4 scoreless innings to start the game, and Andrew Hirsch pitched a scoreless 9th to seal the victory. Viking baseball closes the fall season with a 3-7 record. They will resume play in March. Viking volleyball had last weekend off, but they'll hit the road this week to resume conference play. Volleyball on the road at Dakota State Friday and at Presentation College on Saturday. Viking basketball getting set to tip off the 2015-16 season. The Vikings will host their annual alumni games this Saturday at 4 and 6 p.m. The public is invited, free admission to those games, and then VCSU will open the regular season at home next weekend with games at the Bubble. Joined on this week's edition of Vikings Update by Dennis McCulloch, head football coach here at Valley City State. And Coach, exciting win for you guys on Saturday, 32-24 over Dakota State. Had to rally from a 21-10 halftime deficit. First off, talk about a little bit about the heart your guys showed, the no quit, even when they're down late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I told the team after the game, I was very proud of how they responded in the game. Win or lose, after you come off of 2 tough losses, a tough homecoming loss by a point. I mean, it is easy for guys to start to, when you're down 21-10 at halftime, going in the fourth quarter down, things don't look good with them driving to score. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on during that time and emotions, and, it's easy to give up, easy to start to wave the white flag and say, oh my gosh, here we go again. And, which nice to hear on the sidelines, guys supporting each other, picking each other up, not getting down on each other. Those are the types of things that you want to see out of a team. And we worked awfully hard together. Not to finish things off together, and that's the thing I think I'm most proud of, is just that response and resolve, because it would have been easy to, like I said, wave the white flag and not give your best effort and have something protect your egos. But our guys didn't do that, and it played awfully well, and it's when you're sometimes struggling with things. And you work really hard and you don't see the rewards, then it's hard to keep telling guys, hey, keep working hard, you're going to get this thing turned around. So it was it was great for me and the coaching staff to get some positivity out of that game and get a win after our kids have been working hard and did a lot of really good things. To lose that game would have been hard to keep, standing up and saying, hey, good things will keep coming. But it was great for us to get a win. It helped our kids. It lifted a little weight off our shoulders, and I think that's the biggest positive. And no question, a great response to a tough situation for us.
Turning point in the game, they're up 7 driving early in the fourth quarter. You guys force a fumble inside the 10-yard line, recover, take it all the way back on a long drive for a touchdown. Those last 2 drives, the offensive line, the tight ends, Jacob Dulio, the running back, really took over. Talk about the job they did late in the game.
They did a great job for us. The last few weeks we've been circling the offensive line and saying, well, that's the reason that we're struggling a little bit offensively, maybe not getting the protection or getting the holes or seams for our running game. And those guys have taken some heat, and it's a great response by them. I think with the youth. One side we have youth and the other side we have maturity, and that blend on Saturday, I thought those guys played awfully well and responded in a great way on, when we needed it. I thought all day they gave Curtis some protection, ability to throw the football and some lanes for us to run the ball. And when at the end of the game, what's really tough when they know, when we have that last drive of the game, when they know you're going to run the ball to run the clock out, and they load the box and you're still able to run the ball, that says a lot, because those guys up front have to do a great job because everybody knows you're running the ball. So I think those things were positive for us. I think Jake Dulio ran awfully hard and did some great things for us, kind of the guy that we continue to expect to see. It was, I think it's great for those guys in that offensive line for what they did, and says a lot about Coach Kramer and the job he's been doing with that group.
4-3 now, 3 games remaining coming up this Saturday. You're at Presentation College in Aberdeen. What have you seen so far from the Saints on film this year?
They're a solid football team. I think offensively, again, they return a very good running back in Zenner. They ultimately want to run the football and get the ball in his hands, and he's very talented. I think they do a good job up front. So we know we're in for another physical football game. On the defense side, for our offense, I think they're solid defensively. They good solid scheme. Again, we need a good production out of them to be successful in the game. And so because we know we're not going to shut Presentation out. They're a very good offensive team, so we have to be able to move the ball and do some things offensively to help us a little bit that way. So I think it's going to be a good game, just like last year when we went down there and played them for the conference championship. It was a very hard fought game, and by no means was it a blowout from us. And so I expect the same kind of game when we go down there this weekend.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time as always, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Mark.